picture this. You're at a graduation party.
Uh-huh.
Bonfire.
Yeah.
Crackling under the night sky.
Right.
The air is filled with laughter and anticipation.
Yeah.
It's a small town, the kind of place where everybody knows everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel safe, you feel secure.
Yeah.
Then a young man starts acting strangely.
Okay.
Disoriented, almost like he doesn't recognize anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Before anyone can figure out what's wrong, he vanishes.
Vanishes.
Without a trace.
Wow.
Well, out of this car.
And his car.
Poof, gone.
Huh.
This isn't a scene from a movie.
Right.
This is the chilling reality of what happened to 17-year-old Randy Lee back in 1988.
It's like something out of a true crime novel or something.
It really is. And what's so striking about Randy's case is how it just captures these anxieties of small-town America, in the late 80s.
Yeah.
It's a story where, seemingly ordinary events take a dark turn and leave a community grappling with these unanswered questions and a family just shattered by loss.
Absolutely. And what's one of the things that is really fascinating about this case is just the sheer volume of information.
Oh, yeah.
Coupled with the conflicting narratives and the passage of time.
Right.
It makes it a real challenge to discern fact from fiction. It's like trying to piece together a jigsaw puzzle where some of the pieces are missing and other pieces might not even belong.
Right, and that's exactly what we're going to try to do today. We're going to take a deep dive into the perplexing disappearance of Randy Lee.
Okay.
We're going to sift through first-hand accounts, investigative reports.
Right.
And we're going to explore this maze of theories that have sprung up over the years.
I'm ready.
And trust me, this case is a real head-scratcher.
Okay.
So let's start with that fateful night in Linwood, Kansas.
Okay.
It was a pre-graduation bonfire party at a farm.
Right.
A celebration, on the cusp of summer.
Mm-hmm.
Randy, a well-liked kid, not known for drinking or drugs,
Right.
arrived at the party seemingly in good spirits.
And that's what's so interesting is that initial accounts really do paint this picture of normalcy.
Right.
Randy was mingling with friends.
Yeah.
Everything seemed fine.
Yeah.
But then something shifted.
Yeah.
Witnesses start describing him as stumbling disoriented, almost as if he was in a daze.
Yeah. And some people said he was acting drunk.
Right.
But others insisted that he wasn't a big drinker.
Yeah.
So, this conflicting information about his state of mind that night, it adds another layer of mystery to the case.
It really does, and it begs the question, was his behavior a result of something he ingested?
Yep.
Perhaps unknowingly, or was there some underlying medical condition that suddenly manifested?
Right.
These possibilities, unfortunately, remain unexplored.
And then the biggest mystery of all is his departure.
Yeah.
No one actually saw Randy or his car leave the party.
So he just disappeared.
It's as if he vanished into thin air.
And the lack of eyewitnesses to his departure, coupled with the unusually clean state of the party location the next morning, has led some to speculate that there was a deliberate attempt to conceal evidence.
It's a chilling thought, isn't it?
It is.
To imagine being Randy's parents, waking up to that gut-wrenching realization that their son is missing.
Oh, yeah.
His car is gone.
Right.
And there's absolutely no indication of where he might have gone or what might have happened.
I can't even imagine.
The Leech's anguish is just palpable in their interviews and their public statements.
Yeah.
They immediately launched this frantic search, but it was like searching for a needle in a haystack.
Right.
5 weeks later, the police finally searched the farm where the party took place.
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Wow.
Can you imagine the frustration and the agony of waiting that long
Oh, yeah.
for a proper search?
Yeah.
And even then, they didn't use any of Randy's belongings for the scent dogs?
That seems like a pretty big oversight.
It seems like a huge missed opportunity, a crucial error,
Yeah.
in those early stages of the investigation.
I would agree.
The Leeches were understandably critical of the police's initial response. The runaway theory that was put forward by the authorities felt like a dismissal of their concerns, adding insult to injury.
Absolutely.
They were convinced that something more sinister was at play.
Right.
And their intuition would lead them down this rabbit hole of rumors and speculation and dead ends.
Well, you have to remember, this was the era of satanic panic.
Oh, yeah.
Small towns across America were gripped by this fear of occult rituals and devil worship. And these fears inevitably found their way into Randy's case.
It's almost like something out of a Stephen King novel, right?
Yeah.
This small town, a missing teenager whispers of dark forces at play.
Right.
It's a recipe for fear and paranoia.
Absolutely. And the satanic panic had a profound impact on the investigation.
Yeah.
It shaped perceptions and it influenced the direction of the inquiries.
Right.
One of Randy's classmates, Rob, was questioned by the police based on rumors of his involvement in satanic activities.
And they found knives and a Dungeons and Dragons manual at his house.
Right.
Now, to us, that might seem like pretty flimsy evidence.
Yeah.
But in the context of the satanic panic, it was enough to cast suspicion.
Well, yeah, because anything could be, twisted to fit that narrative. It's really scary.
And this highlights how easily fear and prejudice can just derail an investigation.
Yeah.
The focus shifted towards proving a satanic connection.
Right.
Rather than objectively examining all possibilities.
Exactly. And that's a problem we see in a lot of cases like this.
Right. And just when you think things couldn't get any weirder, a man walks into the Edwardsville police station with a story that would send chills down your spine.
Oh, boy.
He claimed to have been abducted, drugged, and forced to witness a satanic ritual in a nearby cave.
What?
His testimony, while shocking, was detailed and disturbing. He described witnessing a body, though he couldn't definitively say it was Randy.
Right.
The man even passed multiple polygraph tests.
Wow.
Lending, a degree of credibility to his claims.
So they took it pretty seriously.
They did.
Okay.
But then in a twist that left everyone baffled, he retracted his statement.
What?
He said he had been high on drugs at the time.
Oh, wow.
And that the whole story was a fabrication.
So are we back to square one now?
Well, the man's retraction, despite passing polygraphs,
Right.
just threw the investigation into further disarray.
Yeah.
The police halted the cave search,
Okay.
leaving behind this lingering question.
Yeah.
What if he was telling the truth?
Right.
At least partially.
At least partially.
We're left with this unsettling possibility that a vital clue was dismissed due to the man's, later claims of drug-induced delusion.
Yeah, and it just makes everything so murky.
It's a frustrating dead end.
Right.
That adds to the already overwhelming sense of mystery.
And it speaks to the inherent challenges of relying on eyewitness testimony, especially in cases involving trauma drugs or the potential for false memories.
Right.
The truth in this instance remains elusive.
While the satanic panic fueled speculation and fear investigators were also exploring other possibilities, was it possible that Randy had simply had an accident?
The accident theory, while less sensational, is certainly plausible.
Right.
There were several bodies of water along the route Randy might have taken home.
Right.
Including Stranger Creek.
And here's a chilling detail.
Okay.
The summer before Randy disappeared, a film crew actually pushed a car into Stranger Creek for a movie.
Really?
And it sank without a trace.
Wow.
They never even bothered to retrieve it.
So there's a car just sitting at the bottom of Stranger Creek.
Just sitting at the bottom of Stranger Creek.
Wow.
The fact that a car could just disappear so easily in Stranger Creek despite, extensive searches, lends credence to the possibility that Randy's car might have met a similar fate.
Right.
They even searched the creek with planes.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No car, no sign of Randy.
Huh.
It's as if he simply vanished from the face of the earth.
The lack of any crash evidence is puzzling.
Right.
But it doesn't completely rule out the accident theory. Weather conditions, the terrain, and the passage of time could have obscured any potential clues.
It's another layer of uncertainty in a case already overflowing with them.
Yeah.
And then there's Steve,
Okay.
Randy's friend who was with him earlier that evening. There's some strange details surrounding him that just can't be ignored.
Like what?
Well, Steve's presence in several key moments of the case is definitely noteworthy.
Okay.
His odd behavior after Randy's disappearance, driving slowly by the Lee house multiple times, is certainly cause for suspicion.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's the matter of the severed foot.
Hold on, a severed foot?
Yes, a severed foot.
This case just took an even darker turn.
It was found by Steve, of all people, on the banks of the Kansas River.
Okay.
Now, to be clear, it wasn't Randy's foot.
Right.
DNA testing confirmed that.
Okay.
But it's a bizarre detail.
It's very strange.
It adds a whole new layer of creepiness to the story.
Yeah. I mean, finding a severed foot, regardless of who it belonged to, would be a traumatic experience. Absolutely. And it raises questions about Steve's potential involvement in other crimes or his knowledge of criminal activity in the area.
And then to add fuel to the fire, the farmhouse where the party took place burned down a year after Randy's disappearance.
Are you serious? A fire.
A fire.
Oh, my God.
While never officially linked to Randy's case, the timing and circumstances of the fire are certainly suspicious.
Yeah.
Was it arson?
Right.
An act of revenge?
Or just a tragic coincidence.
Or simply a tragic coincidence.
It's unbelievable.
This case is like a tangled web of bizarre coincidences.
Yes.
Unsettling events and unanswered questions.
It really is.
We've got the strange behavior at the party.
Yeah.
The missing car.
Uh-huh.
The lack of eyewitnesses. The satanic panic rumors.
Right.
The cave story.
Yeah.
The accident theory.
Uh-huh.
Steve's odd actions, and now the fire.
Wow.
It's enough to make your head spin.
It really is, and we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Randy's parents, desperate for answers, continued to push for a more thorough investigation.
Yeah.
And as we delve deeper, the case takes even more twists and turns.
We'll be back to unravel more of this perplexing mystery.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Okay. And you know what's incredible is that even after facing so many dead ends and enduring such blatant disregard from the authorities, the Leeches continue to press forward.
Yeah, it really is a testament to their determination to find out what happened to their son.
Absolutely. They weren't afraid to challenge the authorities to push for a more thorough investigation.
Right. They hired a private investigator. They held press conferences. They even appeared on the Jerry Springer Show.
The Jerry Springer Show.
Hoping to raise awareness and generate leads.
That's a pretty unconventional move for a grieving family.
It is. But it speaks to their desperation, their willingness to try anything to keep Randy's case in the public eye.
Right.
They even consulted with a psychic on the show, grasping at any shred of hope that their son might still be alive.
It's just heartbreaking to see them clinging to hope, even as the years turned into decades.
Yeah.
And then in 1990, a potential suspect emerges.
Okay.
Eric Montgomery,
Montgomery.
an ex-con with a history of violence, was linked to several other disappearances and murders in the area, including the case of Everett Bishop.
Everett Bishop's disappearance is a whole other mystery.
It is.
He hired Eric for protection and then vanished without a trace.
Right. There were rumors of bodies in barrels, stolen cars, just a convoluted web of deceit and violence.
It sounds like something out of a movie.
It doesn't.
So what happened?
Well, Eric was eventually convicted of Bishop's murder based on the testimony of his accomplice, Cheryl Brinkley.
Okay.
And during his trial,
Yeah.
Eric made a startling claim.
What was that?
He said he was a suspect in Randy Lee's disappearance as well.
Wait, so this guy already convicted of murder throws out Randy's name in court?
Yep.
It sounds like he was just trying to stir up trouble.
That's certainly a possibility. Eric was known for being manipulative and attention-seeking.
Right.
He might have been trying to create chaos to deflect attention from his own crimes.
But it must have given the Leeches a glimmer of hope. A potential lead after years of dead ends.
Yeah, unfortunately, the connection between Eric and Randy remained murky. The police had investigated Eric as a possible suspect, but the files were sealed, preventing the Leeches from accessing the details.
A sealed file, that's infuriating.
It is. It's like they were being deliberately kept in the dark.
Exactly.
The Leeches continued to push for access to those files, believing they might hold the key to solving Randy's disappearance, but their efforts were met with resistance, stonewalling, and bureaucratic red tape.
It's a frustrating pattern that we see all too often in these cases.
We do.
Families are left to navigate a complex and often uncooperative system.
Right.
Fighting tooth and nail for information that should be readily available to them.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just the police in 1992. The Leeches filed a petition with the governor gathering over 12,000 signatures demanding a more thorough investigation into their son's disappearance.
Wow, 12,000 signatures. That's incredible.
It is a testament to their determination.
Yeah.
The governor responded with an executive order offering a reward for information and directing the authorities to release any relevant case files to the Leeches.
Finally, a breakthrough.
You'd think this would be the turning point, the moment they finally get the answers they've been searching for.
Right.
Sadly, it wasn't.
Oh, no.
The authorities released a mere 60 pages of documents, most of which were already in the Leech's possession.
Are you kidding me?
It felt like a slap in the face, a hollow gesture that offered no real progress.
It's a classic example of bureaucratic maneuvering.
It is.
Appearing to comply while actually withholding crucial information.
Yeah, it's no wonder the Leeches felt betrayed and disillusioned.
Absolutely. Their experience highlights the power imbalances that often exist between families of missing persons and the authorities tasked with investigating those cases.
And as if the lack of cooperation from the authorities wasn't bad enough, the Leeches' hopes were further dashed by this bizarre incident involving the TV show Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries?
Unsolved Mysteries, with its dramatic reenactments and captivating storytelling, was a cultural phenomenon in the early 90s.
Yeah. I remember that show.
For families like the Leeches, it offered a platform to share their stories with a national audience,
Right.
to generate leads and to keep hope alive.
Right.
It seemed like a lifeline, a chance to finally get the attention Randy's case deserved.
It did.
But their experience with unsolved mysteries turned into a nightmare.
Really?
A cautionary tale about the perils of media involvement in sensitive investigations.
Oh, wow.
It all started with this guy named Terry,
Okay.
who claimed to be a researcher for the show. He spent months investigating Randy's case, even collaborating with a local detective.
Okay.
His investigation culminated in the arrest of 3 men, including Randy's friend, Steve.
Wow, it seemed like a major break in the case.
It did, but it quickly unraveled.
What happened?
The men were released almost immediately, and the police downplayed the arrests, calling them for investigative purposes.
Investigative purposes.
And then to make matters worse,
Yeah.
Terry held a press conference at the Leech's house,
What?
making these sensational claims about a satanic cult, ritualistic murders, and a massive cover-up.
Oh my gosh.
It was a complete media circus,
Wow.
a chaotic spectacle that exploited the Leech's grief and ultimately led nowhere.
It sounds like a complete disaster.
It was.
So what happened to Terry?
Well, it turned out that Terry wasn't even affiliated with Unsolved Mysteries.
What?
He was a self-proclaimed researcher with a penchant for the dramatic and a history of making unsubstantiated claims.
So he was just making stuff up.
Pretty much the whole thing blew up in their faces.
Oh, wow.
The detective who collaborated with Terry was fired. The Leeches were left feeling betrayed and manipulated, and Randy's case was further shrouded in a cloud of misinformation and sensationalism.
It's a tragic example of how good intentions can go awry, of how the pursuit of ratings and attention can overshadow the search for truth and justice.
It's a story that leaves you feeling angry and disillusioned, wondering who to trust and how to separate fact from fiction in a world where truth is often a casualty of sensationalism.
Yeah, I can see that, and yet, amidst the chaos and setbacks, the Leeches refuse to give up.
Right.
They continue to fight for answers, to challenge the authorities, and to keep Randy's memory alive. Their story is a testament to the enduring power of love, the unwavering pursuit of justice, and the refusal to let the truth be buried under a mountain of silence and deceit. Their persistence is just incredible. It really speaks to the depth of their love for Randy and just their unwavering commitment to finding the truth.
Yeah, they just refused to let his case, fade into obscurity.
Absolutely.
They kept knocking on doors, filing appeals, reaching out to anyone who might be able to help.
Right, and in fact, a group of retired detectives even took an interest in Randy's case,
Really?
offering their expertise and resources to help the family.
That's incredible.
It's heartening to see these dedicated individuals, even in retirement, stepping up to assist families who have been let down by the system.
Yeah, their willingness to revisit these cold cases, to examine overlooked evidence, and to pursue new angles is truly commendable.
I agree.
But even with the help of these retired detectives, the Leeches continued to encounter resistance from the authorities.
Really?
It's like they were hitting a brick wall every time they tried to get access to information or to push for further investigation.
This ongoing resistance from the authorities raises some serious questions about transparency and accountability.
What are they so determined to hide?
Right. Is it incompetence, a cover-up, or simply a case of protecting their own reputations?
It's a disturbing thought that those entrusted with upholding justice might be more concerned with self-preservation than with uncovering the truth.
It really is, and it adds another layer of trauma for families like the Leeches,
Yeah.
who are already grappling with the unimaginable pain of a missing loved one.
There was one particularly frustrating incident involving a report from the Edwardsville police chief.
Okay.
He had flagged a potential lead, something about a possible sighting of Randy's car near Stranger Creek. But the sheriff's office reportedly refused to even take the report.
That's unbelievable.
The fact that a potential lead was dismissed so casually is deeply troubling.
It is.
It points to a systemic failure, a lack of communication and coordination between agencies that could have devastating consequences for families seeking justice.
It makes you wonder how many other leads were ignored.
Right.
How many potential pieces of the puzzle were simply cast aside?
Yeah, it makes you wonder if the truth is out there buried under layers of bureaucracy and indifference.
Right.
The Leeches continued to fight for answers, but the years took their toll.
Yeah.
In 2001, they made the heartbreaking decision to declare Randy legally dead.
Wow.
A necessary step for legal and financial reasons, but one that carried immense emotional weight.
It must have been so difficult for them.
I can't imagine the pain of having to make that declaration, knowing that your son's fate remains a mystery.
Right, it's like closing a chapter without ever knowing the ending.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But even in the face of this profound loss, they never gave up hope.
It's incredible.
They continued to search for Randy, organizing dives in Stranger Creek and exploring every possible lead that came their way.
Right.
They even filed a lawsuit in 2016 to try to force the sheriff's office to release more information, but the lawsuit was unsuccessful.
It's a David and Goliath battle.
It really is.
A relentless struggle against a system that seems designed to protect itself rather than to serve the needs of those seeking justice.
And sadly, Harold Leech, Randy's father, passed away in 2021 without ever knowing what happened to his son.
Oh, wow.
He left behind a list of 97 unanswered questions.
97 unanswered questions.
A poignant reminder of the unfinished business that continues to haunt this case.
Those 97 questions represent a lifetime of searching, of questioning, of hitting dead ends and starting over.
Each question is a testament to the Leech's unwavering determination to find the truth.
Absolutely.
And Alberta Leech, Randy's mother, still carries the torch.
Yeah.
Still holding on to the hope that someday she will finally know what happened to her son.
It's a powerful story.
Randy Lee's disappearance remains a chilling reminder that even in the most seemingly idyllic of places, darkness can lurk.
Yeah.
It's a story that challenges our assumptions about safety, justice, and the power of truth to prevail.
This case, with its intricate web of theories, missed opportunities, and bizarre occurrences, serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of transparency, accountability, and the enduring need for closure, even when the answers seem impossible to find.
We may never know for sure what happened to Randy Lee that night, but we can honor his memory by continuing to ask questions,
Right.
by challenging those in power to do better, and by supporting families like the Leeches in their tireless pursuit of justice. If you have any information about Randy Lee's disappearance, no matter how insignificant it may seem, please contact the Kansas Bureau of Investigation.
Your tip could be the missing piece of the puzzle that finally brings closure to this decades-old mystery.
And if you're as captivated by these deep dives into complex and intriguing cases as we are, be sure to subscribe to The Deep Dive for more explorations of the unknown.
I'll see you next time.
Until next time, keep searching, keep questioning, and never stop seeking the truth.